Check 1, 2. Right. All right, good morning, everyone. Let me just please ask you all to stand as for the playing of the national anthem on the national instrument by Miss Taisha Alexander and one of our national treasures, Mr. Kirsch Ramsey. Thank you so very much, Mr. Alexander and Mr. Ramsey. National, please remain standing as just a little bit longer as we invite Administrator Mr. Carl Murray to lead us with the invocation.
Good morning. Thank you for standing. Can you just bow your heads with me as we pray? Eternal and ever-loving Father, we give you thanks this morning that we are here, and even first of all to give acknowledgement to your presence with us. For you are the creator, the sustainer. It is through you that we move and dwell and we have our being. And we give all the praise that is due to your name this morning, and we elevate your name above everything else because you are worthy of all praise. And honor and glory is always yours. And even this morning, Father, as a God who changes not, but who welcomes and encourages and introduces change, we thank you this morning that we can be part of an auspicious occasion and event like this, where we can stand this morning as leaders, co-workers, stakeholders, and all those who are interested and continue to support the efforts of the Tobago House of Assembly, even as we strive forward in developing not only an island, but what is more importantly, a people. And we thank you this morning that we can witness and have your presence here as we continue to move along a path of development, as we continue to strive for excellence in service, as we continue to give of ourselves in the best that we can this morning. Father, we just thank you. Thank you for your vision, because vision starts with you. And thank you for your leading, because we want you to lead. And so we give everything to you this morning, the program, the participants, and most importantly, a process that will start or perhaps continue today that can be used in the very best that we can, so the people of Tobago can continue to prosper. Be with us, we pray this morning, in no other name but Jesus' precious name. Amen. Amen.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Murray. You all may have your seats now. Yeah? So once again, good morning. Let me start off with some salutations. Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, the Honorable Farley Chavez Augustin, Chief Administrator, Mrs. Denise Toby Kwashi, Acting General Manager of Emerging Services and Innovation of the Telecommunications Services of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Keno Cox, and other executives of TSTT. The manager of Tobago Operations of TSTT, Ms. Onika Blackman, and other TSTT staff, corporate partners, specially invited guests, our friends in the media, and our esteemed ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Now, let me try that one more time. Good morning. Right, we're here. All right, so welcome to the THA's first eTender vendors sensitization session. I'm really happy that you all are here because this is a program that will help to appraise you on the new developments and the way in which we will be doing business in Tobago, and it totally serves to benefit you. So I'm really happy that you all are here. So congratulations on that. I know that you have a very busy schedule, but you wouldn't waste a day. I know a lot of the faces are familiar. You all know me. I tend to be a part of something progressive, and I promise you that this is one of those entities and events. All right? Everybody good? We're good. Right. Now, I am not the expert or authority. We have those here with us. And to add greetings, or to carry on the greetings a little bit more, we're going to have some presentations today as well, and we're going to allow a question and answer segment so you can satisfy your curiosity. You could feel free to ask. Now, you're going to have to give me a little feedback because the light's in my eyes, so I can't really see anybody, right? You all there? You're with me, right? You're right. Okay. So, as I was saying, so this is a new way to do business, all right? And it is for the vendors in particular. I went through some of the literature, went through the website, and it really is a wonderful new initiative that will help to benefit you in being more transparent, making it easier accessible for you. You no longer have to go into the office or have this special friend, because I know you all will have a special friend in certain departments to get certain things. It's a wonderful way to do business, and I really hope that you all sit back, have an open mind about it, and learn as much as you can, absorb as much as you can, because I am absolutely positive that by the end of today's segment, that you will be greater encouraged to embrace this new way, because you will see all the benefits to you and your business and Tobago as well. Yeah? All right? So to continue remarks, or to bring remarks on behalf of the Tobago House of Assembly, is one of the persons spearheading, is one of the persons spearheading this initiative. Please welcome the Chief Management Accountant of the Tobago House of Assembly. She's really a woman of business, and that's why she's here today. All right, so taking what she has to say, please put your hands together for Ms. Petal Ann Roberts.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. Yes, thank you. Chief Administrator, Mrs. Denise Toby Kwashi, Administrators of the Tobago House of Assembly, Acting General Manager of Emerging Services and Innovation of TSTT, Mr. Keno Cox, and other executive members of TSTT, corporate partners, procurement officers, specially invited guests, which are our vendors, suppliers, and contractors, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the eTender vendor sensitization session. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a warm welcome to you to our vendor sensitization event with an exciting presentation of our new e-platform, eTender. Today marks a significant milestone in our journey towards embracing digital innovation. We are gathered here to introduce to you a transformative tool that promises to revolutionize the way you do business with the Tobago House of Assembly, the special purpose companies, and the Tobago Regional Health Authority. This platform is not just a technological upgrade. It's a gateway to efficiency, convenience, good governance, and expanded opportunities for you. To put this into context, the Tobago House of Assembly has recently subscribed to the eTender platform offered by the Telecommunications Services of Trinidad and Tobago, TSTT, a platform that is fit for purpose, ready to implement, and very easy to use. Throughout today's event, we aim to provide you with a comprehensive insight into the functionalities, features, and benefits of this new platform. We want to ensure that you not only understand how to navigate the system effortlessly, but also recognize the immense value it can bring to your business. To our vendors, suppliers, and contractors here today, as we delve into this new chapter together, I charge you to embrace this change with enthusiasm and open minds. Let us seize this opportunity to adapt, learn, and grow, knowing that this transition is not just about embracing technology, but about enhancing your entrepreneurial journey. Once again, a heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you. Thank you for being here today, and let us make this sensitization event one that is truly enriching for you and us all. I thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you so very much, Mrs. Roberts. And we're just going to keep it moving because we are crunched for time. Time is money, and we are about business today. So please put your hands together, of course, for our Acting Chief Administrator, Mrs. Denise Toby-Quashie, as she brings continuous remarks on the Tobago House of Assembly. On behalf.
Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Honorable Fali Chavez Agustin, administrators of the Tobago House of Assembly and the Clerk of the Assembly, the Chief Management Accountant, Office of the Chief Secretary, General Manager Acting, Emerging Services and Innovation, Mr. Keno Cox, members of the Tobago Operation TSTT, and of course, the manager, Ms. Onika Blackman, corporate partners, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. There are some moments that are difficult to put into words because they spark a mixture of emotions within. This morning is easily one such moment, which I am most certain has ignited a fusion of feelings for so many of us here present. Today has stirred excitement as the Tobago House of Assembly embraces a digital system that will transform the way we do business with you, our stakeholders. It is also a moment of curiosity, as I know there is keen interest to learn more about this technology that is being introduced. And today's sensitization session will be extremely helpful in that respect. And finally, today is a moment of immense pride for every party contributing to making this a reality for the Tobago House of Assembly. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now entering a new era together. We are taking a bold step forward into novel territory, and I am cognizant that this new chapter can seem intimidating. However, This is a new chapter that promises to be mutually beneficial to all involved. Therefore, please permit me to share briefly a few of the advantages this morning. For us at the Tobago House of Assembly, this move is significant as it increases the Tobago House of Assembly compliance with the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act, which states that the procurement process may be undertaken using electronic means. So essentially, this is an e-procurement framework, and we are delighted to have partnered with the brilliant minds at TSTT in order to digitize such a crucial process in the operations of the THA. Additionally, this e-platform will assist us in simplifying our records keeping. Those of you who know me well will easily tell you that this is an area that I feel passionate about. I understand that good record keeping is a foundation for strong management, for making strategic and sound decisions, and most importantly, for providing greater accountability. With the adoption of this new eTender software, the possibility now exists for us to peruse key details and analytics in real time across various divisions of the Tobago House of Assembly. This is truly a powerful digital asset that will allow us to provide more efficient service to all of you. And I believe that this is worthy of a round of applause. For you, our service providers, eTender will provide convenience. Yes, you will be able to give those legs of yours a rest if you so desire, as you engage with us simply at your fingertips. Indeed, you can enjoy that comfort, which also provides that added benefit of having free time as entrepreneurs. My purpose today, however, is not to list all the benefits of this initiative, as there are other aspects of the program that will delve into that. What I must underscore in these remarks, as I stand here before you, is the importance of advancing our system. I am a firm believer that if we desire improved results and outcomes, that we must be willing to do the clinical work of upgrading and refining our systems. After all, there is no improved result without first strengthening our systems. This eTender platform represents a recalibration of a system, one that was once manual, now available digitally. A decision that ultimately improves the ease of doing business with the Tobago House of Assembly. And I also venture to say that when this system is strengthened, the professional is strengthened as well. The beauty of technology goes beyond the advantages that it provides to its users. The beauty also lies in the transformation we experience while utilizing these digital tools. New technology allows us to further stretch and develop our technical skills and abilities, and I trust that the staff of the Tobago House of Assembly are excited to take this as a challenge. As I shared earlier, this is the dawn of a new chapter, one that signals the Assembly is evolving. It demonstrates that we are client-oriented, we are focused and determined. This change is much more than being compliant. It is about being cutting edge. We are showing the world that while the Assembly has its roots in the past, we are ready to branch out and take on the future. After all, indeed, we are the greatest little island on the planet. So I encourage all of you vendors present today to make the most of the morning sensitization exercise and to embrace this new and exciting technology. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Thank you very much to our Chief Administrator. And she said so much there, so much. And this is a lady that ensures that our I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. So when this lady speaks and endorses something, you know that it's something beneficial to business, something that is the way that we do business. All right? So we're talking about the eTender. It might sound a little bit intimidating, but I assure you it's not. It's simply a digital platform where you can better manage your dealings with the Tobago House of Assembly. And I wouldn't lie to you all, it's not new. It's probably only new to the space of Tobago. A lot of large corporations and entities, institutions already have been utilizing this portal and technology in Trinidad, and we know Trinidad has a lot of vendors, businesses. So to manage that influx of volume of businesses and stakeholders, we could only see the benefits, so much more benefits for us in Tobago right here. Yeah? And this technology, as we say, they're not going to just spring it on you like you get your updates in your smartphones when you wake up in the morning. No. The THA, and I want to give them a kudos and a round of applause for that, because what they have done is that they have aimed at educating you and making sure you're familiar with the technology before it rolls out. So it wouldn't be sprung up on you just like that. All right? Okay. And of course, they've been partnering, or the THA has been partnering with TSTT. They are the mechanics of this technology, the driving force. And here to give a real nice presentation is the acting General Manager of Emerging Services and Innovation, Mr. Keno Cox, and he will be giving you a very enlightened presentation this morning. So absorb as much as you can. Put your hands together for Mr. Cox, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tobago. Allow me to say all protocols observed. After hearing Ms. Denise Toby-Kwashi speak so passionately about eTender and about what we're doing for Tobago, I decided to put away my prepared remarks and speak from the heart this morning, because what we're doing here can only be done with passion and commitment, which comes from us. Several years ago, about 12 years to be exact, TSD developed the eTender solution that you're going to see today. And was born out of innovation, passion, for us, by us. Trinidad and Tobago developed this platform, which Tobago is now going to be the front and center of innovation throughout the Caribbean. Today, you're going to hear about how the THA is going to digitize its operations from a procurement, from a project management standpoint, but more importantly, connect lives, which is what TST ethos is all about. How do we digitally enable lives? Yeah? The background to eTender really is very simple. This platform digitizes your procurement and your engagement with procurement professionals throughout the THA, but more importantly, throughout the THA state companies. So the hub and spoke, hub meaning at the THA center, there's going to be what they call a digitization of data that allows throughout the entire Tobago all the procurement information to be rolled up into one hub. But the spokes are individual divisions. So the 12 divisions of the THA and 12 state companies in Tobago will all have independent eTender platforms interfacing with you on a regular basis. But what is eTender really? What you're seeing here is really the backbone to the eTender. It starts with pre-qualification. And for those of you who have either interfaced with EID Cut, who has been a client of eTender for a number of years. The pre-qualification portal allows you to automate all your requests to upgrade your status with the entity, whether it be the THA or state entity. It allows you to upload financial data, what you call compliance data, in different levels and tiers of information. More importantly, and when we're all busy as entrepreneurs, as business owners, sometimes a form, so your tax certificate may be expired or your VAT compliance. The platform has built-in features that automates the alert to alert you that this has expired. So go and get it renewed so you can become fully compliant. So all that is built into the platform as a part of the engine, the backbone engine to your procurement process. Now, after you're pre-qualified, and many of you have gone through this process within Trinidad and Tobago, you'd have to source. What sourcing means, from very layman terms, is what we call RFX. Request for tender, request for proposals, is all part of the procurement process which you have been either manually, or if you're doing business with AIDCOT or even Tobago in Trinidad, some entities, you would have familiarity with the online platforms. But it simply allows you to be anywhere in Tobago, in Trinidad, anywhere overseas, and be able to do exactly what you do now manually, totally online. It means viewing opportunities for tenders, downloading the package, and if you're very savvy, doing your stuff on your phone, your laptop, your tablet, and uploading. The third part of it is auctions. So, for example, many of you would go to auctions, and under the Procurement Act, there's a heavy focus on disposal of assets. So, under the Procurement Act, state companies have to undertake a very rigorous approach to disposing of company assets, state assets, and the platform is built to automate that in real time. So whatever you're accustomed doing from a manual way, when you go to a public disposal, it automates for you seamlessly. What do I mean? So in a public disposal, you would generally see or hear all the bids in real time going up or down, depending if it's a reverse or forward auction. The platform automates that for you. So there's no longer a need to physically be there. You would have the asset visually, you would know the terms and the specifications and so forth. You go online, and for 50 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, you will enter the process digitally, and you will see your bid price in relation to others, either go up or down. And you can so decide if to counter all intuitively in a real-time process, digitally. One of the key features of the platform is what we call that alert system. And I want to spend some time here because it's so important for you on the go, being very busy, some having to travel overseas on short notice. And many times vendors have told me, we wouldn't have seen opportunities if it wasn't for the eTender platform. Why? Many public entities, and this is before the Procurement Act, would generally post opportunities in the papers, or maybe word of mouth. And for public tenders, you wouldn't know opportunity exists. With the eTender platform, you simply register, and later on in my presentation, you'll see more of it. You register your interest, and you select your categories of interest, whether it be goods, whether it be computer repairs, whether it be restaurant services, whatever category you fall into. And once any THA division or state company puts that opportunity on the platform, you get an email alert to your phone. That is true digital connectivity. Allows you to go about your business seamlessly every day and know that eTender and the THA eTender platform has you covered. So you no longer have to search opportunities, it's there. Later on, you will see more about our procurement pipeline and the awards platform that allows you to see all the opportunities that come or are to come. And of course, when you award contracts, all the contracts that are awarded. So all that's built in to the platform. Also built in as well is something which what we call Phase 2, is the EPMO, which is the Enterprise Portfolio Management Portal, which we have reconfigured specifically and designed for the THA and the THAC companies under the EPSIP module. What do I mean by that? EPSIP is a public sector investment program of which the THA has to do report in central government on projects that would have been approved and so forth. The digitization of that spend and how that spend is managed from contract award straight to contract finish is now going to be done through the ePSIP portal, which we're going to roll out on a phased basis. So all to say, after spend is approved, the management, the accountability, the benefits realization, the audit controls, all the best practice as it relates to project management is going to be digitally disrupting Tobago in short time. We're very proud of that. E-contracts is really the interfacing between yourselves and the THA and THST companies, forms of contracts, awards, all that is digital as well. Evaluation, so this is key for the internal THA and THST companies process, where traditionally you have to be physically in one space, in a conference room, for example, to evaluate the tender. That's no longer the standard. You can be anywhere in the world, and the team can come together in a virtual space, create its scores, weights and measures, and so forth, communicate with you as vendors through the process, all digitally, and arrive at an award which can be assessed and stand scrutiny based on the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Act. So it's all part of compliance with the Act, and ensuring, of course, that the open requirements, which many of you would have attended a session, I believe it was last week or week before, with the OPR, and we've gained even more information about how compliance is so required, both on the THA and THST companies and on your end to register with the OPR. At the bottom tree, you will see the e-library. So we have e-library, and it's really a resource library for the THST companies, and also for you. There will be a digital hub of resources you can read up at your leisure on the platform. eDocusign, where documents can be digitally signed through the process internal to the THA and THST companies. So it's all back-end innovation that we have created in one space to digitize the process end-to-end. And of course, analytics, as I mentioned before, it's a hub-and-spoke method that we have created. And at the hub, there's going to be a comprehensive dashboard of also at the Chief Secretary's office or the Chief Administrator can log on a daily basis and view end-to-end what's happening in Tobago, how much tenders are out there, what's happening from a PSIP standpoint. It really revolutionizes the way in which the THA leadership and the state companies leadership, from the board to management, can manage its affairs in a truly innovative and accountable manner. So, put simply, this process today is really to sensitize you as a key stakeholder in the entire process, and a key stakeholder meaning internally THA and THST companies are the professionals that are managing the procurement process. And under the Act is a very serious and a very, what I call a very critical responsibility to manage and to report on procurement throughout the life cycle of the procurement process. And today really is a step or key step in that direction and that journey towards innovation. So what we're doing today is ensuring that whether you're registered as a vendor on the platform, whether you're submitting a bid, whether you're uploading a bid or submitting or just browsing for opportunities, you understand what's to come and understand the scale of what you're doing. And this is a follow-up to internally over the past few months. We did many training sessions in Tobago with the THA, state companies and divisions, to really go through the platform where we understand it's all part of change management. Yes, we are changing from manual to digital, but we want to ensure that you understand very carefully how easy it is, but also how it enriches your life on a daily basis to have this digital tool that gets you there. Yeah. So how does it work? And this is the shortest part of my presentation. It's 3 simple steps. Step 1, you go on the platform and you view opportunities. Step 2, after you view opportunities, you select which tender, which opportunity you want to engage in. And after that, you click access, and boom, that's it. 3 simple steps. Once you have registered as a vendor on the platform, you need 3 steps to do business with the THA and THST companies. That's how easy the platform works. The most challenging part for you, if challenges is the word I want to use, is the KYC process, or the know your customer details, which happens at the start of registering. So here, you interface with the website where you would log on, You would look at company information, which is known by KYC, and of course, you're familiar with KYC documents. If you open an insurance account, or you're going to open a bank account, these are compliance information, so your name, registration certificate, and so forth. Standard information that pertains to you as a vendor. And as you go along, it asks you questions about your operations, asks you questions about your compliance level in terms of OPR requirements, all very standard. And as you go through and you fill out the information, at the end of it, you click accept. You get an email notification that you go into your email inbox, and that's the start of your journey with the THA and the THA state companies, and that's it. And one of the most, what I call beautiful aspects of this whole platform for you in Tobago is what I call single sign-on. What that means, you get one username, one password to access all the opportunities in Tobago. So it's a very complex back-end engine that has been created in a hub and spoke to do this. But put simply, what it means is that every division, every single state company has its own demarcated virtual machine data-centered platform with hardware firewalls separating each one, which simply means that no one can access data independently of each one. It's very secure, very robust, and it functions independently. But for you, you don't see all that in the front end. All you see is your username and password, and you enter that digital portal, and you access to all opportunities in entire Tobago. So normally you have to go through one company, have one username, password, the next company. It removes all that burden on you. So the only stress you should really feel on a daily basis is how much business I really want to do with THA and THA state companies. So that is your challenge, doing business, not understanding how much emails you have to remember, how much usernames and so forth. So we really have to make it very seamless for you. Here you see a dashboard that you would typically see when you log on, and it's very user-friendly, very intuitive. It's simply just scrolling list of all the opportunities. You can toggle between state company, THA. You can decide if I want to select only computer hardware, if I want to select catering, janitorial services, whatever your interests are, you select those and you can toggle and tweak and change and suit your preferences. Ultimately, this makes it so much easier for you to navigate on a daily basis and to create opportunities and to respond to opportunities as you go along. This is all part of TSCT's mandate to Tobago. We have to enrich lives. Some years ago, our board of directors created a new division, which I've been very humbled to lead, which is focused on new business and innovation. And we have bought e-solutions in e-healthcare, in fintech, in software as a service, in security, and the list goes on. But today represents, for us, a landmark occasion because we are now part of a support team that's going to create what we refer to as the digital island, Tobago. And it's a small step in a larger journey towards really creating and sustaining a digital connected island of which you, our vendors and partners, are a critical component. So in closing, I just want to say thank you, everyone. This is a small step. We're going to have a lot more sessions on demand, and based on your feedback today, there will be virtual sessions when the platform is actually launched, so you can go and walk through and so forth. But again, we have done this many times in Trinidad, regionally, platform is launched regionally as well. So we're very familiar with some of the questions that will come out of types of, when you go for the first time. But let me reassure you that the THA has an ecosystem set up to support you. We are here supporting the THA in its efforts, but more importantly, you, the critical stakeholder in this entire process, are going to really feel the joy of going online and doing business in a seamless way which you didn't have before. So in closing, I just want to say thank you as we continue the journey towards creating the greatest digital little island on the planet. Thank you.
Thanks again, Mr. Cox, a man of quality. So, you all saw the presentation. We had a very detailed, we had a lot of information there. You think you better understand the eTender procurement portal? You'll understand it a little bit better? Now, don't worry, we also have the question and answer segment, so feel free to ask anything that you want to ask, and we'll have that as well. All right? Now, to say when you're doing serious business, you don't speak to the middleman. All right? I'm not even the middleman. I'm not even on the front line. But we're going to bring the boss here, and we're going to show you how serious that this is. Again, we want to thank our partners at TSTT, and of course, all the persons that have been driving this project, this new way of doing business, bringing new technology to the marketplace and making it a lot more efficient, you know. We're going to streamline it and have a much smoother transition. So ladies and gentlemen, a man who knows all about business, the economy, and doing better business, please put your hands together for the Honorable Chief Secretary and Secretary of the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy, Mr. Farley Chavez Augustine.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. Allow me to acknowledge members of the Tobago House of Assembly, Chief Administrator, Mrs. Denise Toby Kwashi, and other administrators who are present, General Manager Acting, Emerging Services and Innovation, Mr. Kino Cox, and other executive members of TSTT, Manager of Tobago Operations, TSTT, Ms. Onika Blackman, corporate partners, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning all. On the 4th of January 2022, just a few days shy of 1 month of being in office, the Tobago House of Assembly embarrassingly lost a case in the court, in the High Court. It was a case started in 2019 between 3J Holding Limited versus the Tobago House of Assembly. We lost that case, and when I looked through the case file, I saw what was a horribly written tender notice. I saw where the Tobago House of Assembly, with poor advice, decided not to accept a tender from 3J Holding Limited, given the notice was unclear and amateurishly written. And in that moment, I asked myself, how is it the THA is being made to pay prime time for prime mistakes made in such a manner? And I said there's one way to fix that problem, and that way is to digitize the process so that we can eliminate as far as possible human error and certainly the incompetencies that will often come along with human practitioners in the procurement field. And so today is an important and an exciting day for us in the Tobago House of Assembly, because here we are presenting to you the people of Tobago and perhaps the rest of the region, the first jurisdiction in the Caribbean that will have 100% digital tendering processes for all of its functions, all of its divisions, departments, and associated companies. And I think that is deserving of a round of applause for such a powerful step as an island. In coming into office, we declared that Tobago will become the greatest little island on the planet. And we built out a framework pitched against the Sustainable Development Goals. And 3 of those goals stand out this morning. The first is that in order for Tobago to become the greatest little island on the planet, we must become a technologically driven, innovative, productive, resilient, and competitive economy. That box is being checked this morning. Secondly is that we must have an efficient, effective, and accountable public service. That box is also being checked this morning. And thirdly, to have the greatest little island on the planet, we must have open, transparent, accountable, and inclusive governance. And that box is also being checked this morning. With our e-tendering platform, as well as EPSIP, the Tobago House of Assembly is moving swiftly to that place where we digitize our operations. We are too small of an island, too small of a government to be so ineffective and inefficient in our day-to-day operations. And we must admit that one of the areas that we have fallen down as a small island with a small government by virtue of size, by virtue of economy, is that we just have not been able to move things along efficiently. And I'm of the belief that speed and efficiency can actually operate in the same room. Digital platforms allow us to do that. And so, with the launching of this program publicly today, we are signaling that the Tobago House of Assembly is moving into a new age. And whether the rest of the country is ready for digitized governance, the Tobago House of Assembly and the people of Tobago are ready. And I am certain that all of you service providers and contractors who are in the room this morning, I'm certain all of you will appreciate if it is you have a much more efficient, a simpler, and a foolproof method by which you can engage the Tobago House of Assembly and tender for your services. This means that the days of rushing into a division, trying to get past traffic to drop a tender document or a proposal in a tender box that is locked with a padlock and a key, and then sitting and waiting for someone to open to then show you what's in the box, and then you may magically hear that someone that you did not see name pop up somewhere there. Those days are going to be behind us. It means that if you submit your tender 1 minute to the deadline, our electronic platform will correctly tag that timeline, and you will not be cheated out of an opportunity to participate in the governance of the island. It means that as a service provider, you can actually track the progress of a project throughout the tendering timeline, meaning that you get to tender and you get to watch this thing grow from tenders being accepted to an actual tender being accepted and awarded. And you get to see in a very transparent manner the work of the procurement departments of the Tobago House of Assembly and its associated companies. This is important, Tobago. This is very important because it gives us an opportunity to move the procurement processes along much faster. In fact, my biggest challenge with the current procurement regime is that everything seems to take forever. You can no longer get anything quickly within the THA. So even if you run out of toilet paper, you might have to wait a good 2 weeks to get that toilet paper. But digital platforms like this allow us to operate simultaneously, meaning that wherever you are around the world, you don't get the luxury of stop working on what's important for the people of Tobago. You could be in your taxi. You could be somewhere at home in your garden and reviewing a tender because you are part of an evaluation committee. It doesn't require that you have to be face to face and be in a room together and figure out what time we could all meet in order for this to all work. You get an opportunity from the jump to see the Tobago House of Assembly work in a much more timely manner. And that's a challenge that we must admit. We have a challenge with time and the timing is always off. And I know because I'm always inundated with your calls and your complaints about, well, Chief, what's going on? You no longer tender for this thing? And Paul Mika give you a word as to whether this thing will come to a conclusion sooner rather than later. And of course, it goes beyond eTendering and ePSIP. This is a powerful start. But I wish to also tell you this morning that across the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, they are preparing to launch their e-platforms for social care and social services, which means that when you are applying for grants, when you are applying for special social funding, you can do that from the comfort of your home. You can borrow internet from a neighbor, and you can apply from the comfort of your home, which means that your house burned down. You don't have to find yourself in town, find yourself in Glen Road, find yourself there to apply on an actual form, walk across by settlement, apply there for a second piece of grant, come back in town because you just realized you needed a fire report and a police report, try to get that, and that might be some days late. They are moving towards digitizing that operation, and instead of having these food cards that one man could get 400 in his back pocket to give away, it will be an e-wallet system that can be effortlessly sent to you from the experts who are the social workers directly to you. And so the days when you have to beg a man for a food card, those days are done. There will be a transparent process. Digitization is allowing that to happen. Then the Tobago House of Assembly took its time. We prepared for IFMIS because we also want to digitize our accounting procedures. We did everything possible. We took down the number of bank accounts that the THA had. We had perhaps 100 and something. Some of those were inactive. And we shrink that all the way down into single digits. And while we are ready, we're still waiting and waiting and waiting on the Ministry of Finance and our partners in Trinidad to be ready for IFMIS. But we're ready a long time because we need to digitize these platforms. We need to also digitize HR and human resource and how we move with that so that the days when you are actually retiring and persons are running helter-skelter from division to department trying to find a manila folder with your file to see your employment records. This is 2024. This is not the 1800s. And I was just in the UK where they have gone past the use of manila files, going from desk to desk for officers to write minutes and to number sheets, folio sheets, to digital public service operations. And I'm saying we can't be more British than our colonial masters. It is time for Tobago to improve its operations, and whether we have to drag the society kicking and screaming into a digital world, we will do that because it is for the benefit of the entire island of Tobago. It is for all of our benefit. And it's not just about digitizing our operations. So even as we are digitizing our operations, we have TITL that is going community to community, teaching individuals in our villages, especially in rural communities, so that we can bridge the digital divide, so that the elderly among us and those that have not had the experience with digital platforms can actually learn how to utilize these platforms well. And so Tobago, I am not promising you that this e-tendering platform is the answer to all our problems. I am not promising you that all of the bugbears within the THA will magically go away with a click of a button. But I am promising you that this is a step in the right direction. And I am also promising you that if you take this training, you participate, you use these digital platforms, then you will be able to hold your government to account, you'll be able to hold public servants to account, and you'll be able to participate in a much more meaningful manner. And even as we are launching our e-tendering platform today as a whole of government, whole of island operation, I will let you know that some time ago, earlier this year, in about January this year, we put a committee to work on pulling together a digital register of all contracts awarded in the THA and being awarded in the THA. And you will not believe how difficult that task is. Going from division to division, pulling vote books, pulling contracts, and being able to create a digital register. And the reason why we have a team actively working on that, being led by the same Mrs. Petalan Roberts that you saw earlier, is so that you can stay in the comfort of your homes. Go onto the THA website and see every single contract awarded by the THA in the past, in the present, and in the future. And so you can track in real time who is earning what from the THA and who is getting what contract from the THA. In other words, if you want to do business with the THA, then that business cannot be a secret because it is public funds being used to pay for that service. Simple as that. And the public deserves to know who are the persons that are benefiting from contracts from the THA, past, present, and the future. And I can initiate policies like that with confidence because I am confident that our contracts and our service engagements continue to be above board. In fact, I will tell you, given our short time in office, we have been audited by the Auditor General more times than any previous administration, given our short time in office. They are auditing every single year that we are in office. And to date, none of their reports have been returned with discrepancies about our work. And so I want to continue on that platform, but I will not take it for granted that we have not had discrediting reports. I want to put systems in place so that long after I am no longer in this chair, we can continue to have an accountable and a transparent government running the Tobago House of Assembly, whether I am here or not, whether my party is here or not. And so this is an issue bigger than the politics of the day. This is about ensuring that Tobago come of age, and that Tobago can become a leader, and that Tobago can truly become the greatest digital little planet on the entire planet. Well, in the world. And sometimes you have to be redundant to ensure that you get the message. The greatest digital little island on the planet. That's what Tobago will become. That's what Tobago should be. And even as I wrap this message up, I want to say to you that for a very long time, Tobagonians tend to box the island in. And we tend to limit ourselves, limit our expectations, limit what we can or cannot achieve. And this is a great example of Tobagonians saying, we could punch above our weight, and we can do things that don't exist anywhere else in this region or in this country, because we are not looking for our marks from our neighbors in Trinidad, but we are looking to set the stage. We are looking to set the example. And so today, in having eTendering as a whole of government approach, is Tobago taking leadership and saying that we are going to go beyond that which is traditional, and we are going to find a way to ensure that all of our people benefit, all of our people can participate, and we can move speedily towards a platform where we can eventually say we have e-governance as a primary model of government on the island of Tobago. Very soon, Estonia will want nothing on Tobago. That's the challenge. We have to beat back Estonia. We have to do better than countries that have gone leaps and bounds with their digital platform. And no, it's not to exclude anyone. And no, it's not to introduce the mark of the beast to Tobago. And no, it's not requiring you to put any chip in your hand or in your forehead or anything of that sort. But it is about creating platforms that you can feel comfortable engaging your government in and with. And so I thank you today for coming. I thank you for participating. I thank you, TSTT, for this meaningful partnership. I thank you for engaging us, and we look forward to how we can transform the modalities of government on the island of Tobago going forward. Thank you, and God's richest blessings.
Thank you so very much to our Chief Secretary. And please, Chief Sec, let me ask you not to depart the stage as yet. We're going to call you back. We're going to call back all our presenters. We getting the grasp of this eTender procurement portal, folks? Yeah? Making sense? It's sounding good, right? All right, so now it's time to mind your business. It's very important you mind your business. As you say, the speed and efficiency could work together. So as you're here, you already spent some time. I want to thank you again for taking time out of your busy morning to be here, but now is your time where you can ask our presenters those questions, just to clear up whatever, queries you have, and probably how to get a jump start on this whole process when the time comes for it to roll out, okay? All right, so I'm gonna call on the Chief Management Accountant, Mrs. Petalan Roberts, Chief Administrator, Mrs. Denise Kwashi-Toby, of course, the Acting General Manager of Emerging Services and Innovation of TSTT, Mr. Keno Cox. I like in the boots, Mr. Cox. Yeah, Gideon boots, Clarks. All right, and of course, our Chief Secretary, the Honorable Farley Chavez Augustine. So we'll have them seated, and feel free, we have a mic going around, so you just raise your hand, and you could ask your question, a mic will come to you. Or you could walk down to this mic if you feel like. You can have your time to shine, or you just raise your hand and someone will come to you. So feel free, folks. Right. Yeah. The panel is at your disposal. They've afforded themselves, so feel free to ask those questions. Yeah. Y'all may sit there. So let's see how fast we could deal with the time. So about 20 minutes of questions. Anybody ready? Anybody have any questions to ask? We all understand this thing fully? Okay. All right.
I think there's one.
There's one? There's one? So we have one.
Good day. I wanted to ask, what measures are in place to prevent digital shutdown, similar to the one that occurred a week ago, when no one could make a phone call or use the internet on the island? And what measures are in place in the event of that digital shutdown to manage the collateral disruption to online businesses?
You all got that?
Thank you for that question. Very good question, I might add. In 2022, the Tobago House of Assembly took a decision to provide a lease to a group of companies that includes Digicel to run to Tobago an independent telecommunications cable. It is actually landed already at Petit Trou, and that was one of the areas that we did some heavy oil spill cleaning up, west of the village of Lambo and just east of Magdalena. The cable that is landed there is actually the first telecom cable to land in the country that does not land through Chaguaramas in Trinidad. What that means is that very soon Tobago will have something that is known in the digital world called redundancy, meaning that we will now have two access points by which we will have telecommunications. That's telephone services, internet services, and we are no longer dependent on the single cable running from Togo to Tobago that can be disrupted by bushfires. Having said that, notwithstanding, that's not foolproof from, let's say, a major underwater activity. Let's say Kikem Jenny in Grenada decide to kick him up. So there is never 100% foolproof for anything. It's the same way you can put your tender documents in a box and you wake up the next morning and hear that the office burnt down. You lost the tender the same way and have to redo the process. So there's no 100% foolproof anything when it comes to the tendering processes. But I'm saying that the decision to allow the landing of an independent telecommunications cable to Tobago is to treat with just what we experienced a few weeks ago and to ensure that it will not happen in the future. So in a few months, that will be launched and be active in Tobago, and the way that operates based on the license from the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago is that the landing of that cable in Tobago, access points are allowed for all competitors of Digicel. So it's not just for Digicel, but all companies operating in this space have the right to access that telecommunications cable and that submarine cable and ensure that we have redundancy on the island. And let me close by saying this, that I am in office 2 years and some months, and the first real apology I got from anybody since being in office came from the current CEO of TSTT, who took up the phone to call me to apologize personally and corporately on behalf of his company. None of the other companies called to apologize on behalf of their company because he took ownership, notwithstanding he did not cause the bushfire, but he took ownership and apologized for that downturn in communications on the island. And so I think with your question, it's an opportune time for me to relay that apology to you on his behalf. But certainly measures are in place to ensure that we have redundancy on the island, to treat with just what you have experienced about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, thanks so much. We have any other questions? Yeah?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
A couple of months ago, I tried registering on the platform offered by the government to become, for the procurement process. And I must confess that I became very frustrated with all the things that were being asked for, some of which I really didn't understand. My question now is, this e-platform, eTender registration that is being offered by the THA, does that mean that I no longer have to go through that long, cumbersome process and that I just do the registration with you? Thank you.
Okay, so let me start that question and I'll ask the Chief Management Accountant to assist. The challenges that you're having is with the OPR website, and they are in the process of reviewing to see how they could make that more user-friendly. With respect to our processes, we are putting our processes digital. We now operate a manual system that the Chief Secretary took the time to tell us it's a long, laborious system, and we're trying to make it as succinct as possible to redound in benefit to you. But our systems are digital systems that will assist us in complying with the OPR. The Office of the Procurement and Regulator, that was set up under law. You heard us speak about the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public and Property Act. That is the law. And the THA, like other state entities, we have to ensure that we comply. I don't know if the Chief Management Accountant wants to add to that.
Yes, certainly. Okay, certainly. Thank you for your question. I just want to add that along with eTender, we are looking at processes. For example, we did training for our procurement professionals, and the feedback that they gave us, TSTT said we are willing to adjust to make it simple. So once the registration to eTender starts, if we recognize that it's too cumbersome, we will ensure that it is simple, but we have to be compliant with the OPR. But just to say, there are two separate entities. The OPR is a national body. eTender is a software that we are subscribing to. But I anticipate that it would be simple because we have already done training with our procurement professionals, and I'm sure they can tell you logging in and getting in was simple as well.
And I want to add one element to make the response even clearer for you. We can't do anything about the OPR and their website. The law requires that you have to be registered on OPR in order for you to receive contracts from the state or state entities. So you have to be registered there. I know EIDCOT and some departments did some community training to help people get registered. I'll give you a commitment that I'll ask EIDCOT to make another rounds of it and perhaps even create a desk where you can get help getting registered, because we appreciate finding a way to get the small man, as we say. But in this case, especially the small contractor, the small service provider who may not have staff with the competencies to just run through this for you, to assist you in ensuring you understand and you are able to get registered on the OPR. But you really cannot legally get a contract from the THA, save and except you are registered with the OPR. And from the THA perspective, we can't do anything about that. That's a law passed by the Parliament in Trinidad and proclaimed by the President last year. And so everyone is required to follow suit with that. And the original process where you were going up to Orange Hill and getting registered there, that no longer holds merit insofar as the law of Trinidad and Tobago is concerned. Notwithstanding that, you have to be registered with OPR. So I'll ask agencies like EIDCOT to make another round with the training and sensitization about how to get registered on the OPR.
I usually don't speak after my Chief Secretary speaks, but recently we were exposed to some training by the OPR, and the OPR is open to assisting entrepreneurs like you, to train you, to assist you in accessing their services. But there's a micro category. Those are contracts, the aggregate value, yearly value, 75,000 and under, that you need to be registered with the THA alone. And I know that you all are ambitious entrepreneurs and you are looking for cumulative values about over 75,000. And the law requires that you'll be registered with the Office of the Procurement Regulator. And fortunately for us, they have their office at Crown Point. I don't know if the Chief Secretary wants to add to that, but they have a space at Crown Point where you can go in and you could inquire. There's staff there, and they are open to assisting you.
All right. Before we get into the next question, just to confirm that we are streaming live via social media platforms, so you could probably go on the Facebook page of the Office of the Chief Secretary, share to those who are not here today, and don't worry. If it is that the questions come to you after the fact, We also have an email that you can issue your questions, and that is etendersupport@tha.gov.tt. At some point in time, you'll see it up on the board. It's even on the flyer. So again, that's etendersupport@tha.gov.tt. So you could also ask those questions there, and for those persons who are looking on, you could send those questions, and our experts or authorities will get back to you with it. All right, so back to the questions. We have any other questions in the stands?
Yes.
Yeah? All right.
Good morning. I think we could probably ask the question as to whether there is an opportunity for a porting over of companies that have already been registered with the OPR to port over their registration into this platform, and whether that will satisfy probably the question that the lady asked us, if there's an opportunity, and probably TSTT can speak to that, in terms of a relationship with OPR, those companies, the companies that are already registered, whether there can be a porting over of the registration that makes it easier for these companies so they don't have to go through that process again. The other aspect of my suggestion is that the high tech, which is the platform, is the easy part of this process. But the high touch, the people element, we have to pay some attention to that. For this to be efficient, there has to be a critical mass of users on this platform. And we have to deal with the high touch aspect, which is the peopleware, the software, the people component. And the question is, what are the training proposals to train persons to efficiently and effectively utilize this opportunity in terms of the high-touch aspect of this platform?
Yes. Thank you for that excellent question. To lend some context to the OPR's platform and the difference between the eTender platform, the OPR platform simply provides for registration, what I call KYC data, based on their outline requirements and their remit under the Act. I can't speak for the intention, but from my understanding and from a procurement SME perspective, the intention of the portal that the OPR has, is really to allow for not only a seamless repository of vendors by which any state company in Trinidad and Tobago will do business with, knowing fully well that that company is registered with the OPR and have gone through some level of due diligence, but also on the back end, if a vendor or contractor or someone is performing work for any state company in Trinidad and Tobago, and you're not performing, and you meet the threshold for, let's say, deregistration or disbarment, you will not be allowed to work with an state company because you're part of an overall system. The challenge we have in Trinidad is that not everyone is on the eTender platform as yet. Yes, we are the #1 platform in Trinidad, but there are many entities still yet to be registered. Tobago has taken a quantum leap by deploying a government layer or a whole of Tobago approach. So which means that the objectives or the intention of the OPR, which is to have true what we call governance and true overview of performance of contracts after award, for example, could be done in Tobago, where you can see if a contractor is not performing in one area, you can flag so other areas will know we should not use this contractor for whatever reason. So let's give you an example, all to say that you are very correct. There should be a harmonious approach, and we have engaged and will continue to engage the OPR, perhaps giving your feedback and other stakeholders' feedback towards having an API, for example, between our platform and their platform, where information can be shared, something which we can look at. But the wider question, and it more pertains to Trinidad, is having a government layer platform which will enable the Procurement Act to really operate in the way which it was intended respectfully from where I sit. Tobago has taken a quantum leap towards where the Act has already positioned us to. So I really want to say again, thank you and congratulations to the Chief Secretary, the THA, and the wider state companies in Tobago for really taking on this digitization process, because you're now going to be performing the procurement in a manner which the Act really intended it to be performed. Yeah.
To respond to the second question, I totally agree with you, Mr. Richards. The people touch is very important. Training in eTender is a continuum. So after today, this is not the training. This is a familiarization and a sensitization event. But there will be a hands-on, hand-holding approach to registering vendors, suppliers, and contractors on eTender. We will also be having a lot of virtual sessions going forward, because we did have, in the month of March and April, in-house training for professionals in the procurement sphere, legal officers, and administrative officers. So yes, after today, we will come again, advertise how we will be reaching out to the vendors so that we can hold their hands and assist them in registering with eTender. That is on the table as well.
Yeah. Any other questions? We have a question up there.
Good morning, everyone. I would just like to know if there's a timeline for the launch of the platform. I'm not sure if I missed that. If there's a cost attached to register on the platform, how accommodating is this platform with respect to the limitations of other government platforms, such as the CROSS system, or probably getting clearances at NIB? For instance, with the CROSS, you may be successful with registering 2 directors, and you're trying forever just to get the secretary in, and you're unable to get your annual returns filed and updated, and all of these things will affect tenders not having updated documentation or records, notices, etc. How are we going to get over these hurdles?
Yeah. So from a cost perspective, there's no, and of course, the teacher will speak more to it, there's no cost to accessing the platform. When the platform is launched, and again, the THA will duly advise on that launch date. When the platform is launched, anyone can go on and register on the platform, become a vendor, to do business with the THA. Of course, again, and I want to remind, there's a hub and spoke model. So every division acts independently of each other in terms of what it provides for procurement on the platform. Every state company will provide opportunities, but you have access to all within the platform, which also means that there will be different requirements for each opportunity or tender auction. So one may decide, for example, that for this tender, only Tobago locally registered contractors can apply. One may have a tender where to build a bridge, and it may require you to have 3 years or the statements. So it depends on the type of procurement, will mean which you can register or be qualified for. For public tenders, there will be requirements. Again, it doesn't change what happens now in the manual process. It just enhances and digitizes the process. So again, and the sessions that Mr. Roberts would have spoken to would give you more insight into how that is done. But there's no cost. When it comes to the second part of your question, if I recall correctly, Registrar General or any of those other government layer interfaces, the platform that you are subscribing to through the THA is for procurement. The documentation that comes into the platform undergoes a separate process. What it does, it enables us in the THA to have record in different layers or tiers on the platform to record your information. And where information is close to expiring, it automates the renewal process. So you have an alert to know that your documents are expiring based on approvals or whatever, and you can then go through the process to get it synchronized. I look forward to the day as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago when all what we're speaking to here is fully digitized. But I'm very heartened that the THA has taken the bold step to do it for Tobago, which means very soon, whatever form of function you will see in terms of a government space, eventually will be digital in Tobago. Yeah.
And just to add to that, unfortunately, we do have remit over the Registrar General's office. If we did, then it would be certainly integrated into what we're doing here as well. So essentially, what you do now, you continue to do it, except that it's on a digital platform, and you don't have to physically carry your documents into a space. So, for example, you know that you may tender for a project across at education. Let's say it is school repair, and they may not require you to bring audited statements. They may just require you to show that you are paying your taxes, and so on. But then you may go and tender for a larger project, like the Scarborough Secondary School project to come, and they may require you for a project of that size to bring audited statements. So in other words, each project that goes out for tender, each service that goes out for tender will have its own set of requirements, as is the case now, and you are simply required to upload and submit as per the requirement for that specific tender process. It's not a one-size-fits-all. But what this does, it makes it easier for you, because if I hear Mr. Cox correctly, you get the opportunity to pre-upload some of your documents, have it there sitting on your digital desk, so to speak, and as is required for this project, you just assign the required documents to that project, and you leave back the ones that aren't required on the digital desk, and then you assign again to another as you tender for that, and leave back the ones that not required. And the system will also tell you when your documents are about to expire, so you don't get the unfortunate experience of trying to pull the documents together the night before and then realize, oh shucks, you know, this thing expired, I need to get this thing. And then you have to go on somebody's website and book an appointment to go into the office to get it fixed, and they can't get it in time to submit the tender. It will alert you ahead of time via a notification, just as you get your WhatsApp notification, and it allows you to keep track of your business with the THA and your business with yourself, so that it makes it easier for you to tender for projects throughout the THA.
Next question.
Good morning. I know we are talking about digitization, but my question is, does the tender process include tenders to provide equipments and supplies to various divisions in the THA? And if so, will it be seen on the eTender?
Yes, we are doing all of our tendering. We're moving to doing all of our tendering processes to this singular digital platform. Whether it's for services under $75,000, as the chief had explained, or services above $75,000. Yes, it will include for the use of equipment and machinery and other similar services. As a matter of fact, and I'll take a hazardous step to explain this. You know, the THA have a tradition in one of our divisions in particular that is known as rent and lease. So in the THA, in order to get equipment for our workers to utilize in road repairs and public infrastructure works, the THA over a number of years, I guess, took a policy decision to not purchase equipment for the division of infrastructure, but to rent and or lease equipment. With the coming on stream of the procurement legislation, then some requirements came up that forced us to stop and take another look at that program and bringing it in line with what the regulations now require. And I don't know how those operated in the past. If you call a friend who know a friend and a man pull your truck into the equipment or pull your jackhammer into the thing, I don't know if that's how it operated in the past, but it certainly cannot continue to happen that way. And I'm sure you might have experienced where sometime last month, you saw the division started halting the program. It's not that we want to stop the program completely, but it had to be halted so that it could be brought in line with what the requirements are. So even if it's under $75,000 and you're not required to be on OPR for under $75,000 for the contract, because you may be renting equipment for, let's say, $30,000. So it's well within the limit. You will still need to utilize our e-tendering platform in the future to be able to get your equipment or machinery or similar service into that respective system. So it's about bringing in alignment all of what we do, because we also want to have transparency in all of our engagements, all of our engagements, including the very small ones that some might think might be insignificant. So for under 75,000, the OPR requirements are not the same as over 75,000, but we will be utilizing this eTender platform for all of our services going forward, so that everything will be effortless. And I look forward to the day when we will also be able to tag not just our e-tendering platform, but tag that to our accounts, so that when you tender, you get awarded your contract, you can continue to look on Tobago Online, My Tobago Online, and be able to see and track your payments and see whether accounts via ACH send some money to your account, whether they send quarter your money, half of your money, all of your money. And if you find it's taking long, you have a little drop box that you could go and put in a query, and the note gets to the chief at desk or the administrator for infrastructure. I know that is the division I love the most. The administrator for infrastructure or the admin for finance. And you could complain bitterly there with nice, polite Tobago words about, you know, how this payment taking long. So it's a step in the right direction. We are not 100% there, but it's about putting Tobago online in a way that all of the service, from you tendering to you tracking your payments, are online. And that, I think, will be a powerful tool in your hand, because you'll be able to manage your business. You'll be able to see when things are coming, and you'll be able to plan. The most important element of doing business is your ability to plan and a sense of predictability, which this platform and the future joining platforms will bring to you.
And if I may add, I want to challenge you to take some time out to look at the Act, the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act. And there are tenets of the Act that speaks to good governance principles, such as accountability, transparency, fairness. The Act is designed to regulate us, bodies like the Tobago House of Assembly, to ensure that you, the entrepreneurs, you, the business persons, the service providers, you are treated fairly, that you could go and see our processes, transparency, and all of that. And the Act speaks to goods, the provision of goods, works, and services. And there are regulations that are made under the Act. So when you familiarize yourself, you feel empowered under the Act. So when you're making your comments, as the Chief Secretary would have alluded to, you could make your informed comments because you would have read the Act and the regulations, and you know, you hold us accountable, right? Because one of the developmental pillars of the Tobago House of Assembly speaks to good governance principles, and you want to hold us to that, so that as we develop Tobago.
Yeah, I think you all wanted to clap for following your payments, right? You all wanted to clap for that? All right. That's good business. More predictability, yeah? So we have any more questions? Yes, we have one there.
Yeah, good morning. Chief, I just want to commend you on this bold step that you have taken to digitize this and have this platform going so that we can do better business on the island. And I always feel confident when I see people like Petal Roberts and the Chief Ad involved in these exercises. It gives me more confidence. But I want to ask the particular question. We're doing all this effort to have this thing going, and do we have the kind of firewall that can prevent hacking and cause disruption in the process, as we see what happened with TSTT some months ago? It's interesting that a TSTT employee is involved in this process, and I don't mean to cast any aspersions, but Mr. Cox seemed to be a very competent person. But I want to know what could be done to prevent the kind of hacking that could cause serious disruption in this particular digitization process? Thank you.
Very good question.
Very good question.
Yes, very good question, so I'll
Yeah,
take it. Thank you. So let me just go back to the incursion that was suffered by TSCT in October last year, thereabouts. Just to clarify, so TSCT has two what you call instances or clouds infrastructure. One is the internal infrastructure, which houses our internal corporate applications and so forth, which was the target of the attack in October last year. There's a separate, totally separate layer of what you call services that are housed in our public cloud or data center. And of course, TST has a Tier 3 data center, which is the top in the Caribbean, or the top 9 in the Western Hemisphere, where our public applications, so there are banks that co-located data center, our applications as eTender, EPSIP, those platforms store data within the data center, and that has not been not only touched, but from a cybersecurity standpoint, the protocols are what we call world-class standards, which we obtain. The firewalls which you speak to, the infrastructure, both of the application and the back-end data center layers, total encryption, virtual machines. I mean, I won't go too technical, but rest assured, the data that is there are segmented in a way which have fail-safe mechanisms in the event of intrusion or attempted intrusion. Yeah? The eTender platform, which is now being layered for the whole of Tobago, has been in operation since 2012. IGov TT in Trinidad have partnered with TSCT to roll out aggressively in Trinidad the platform. We are the #1 provider of eTender services in Trinidad. Now we are laying in Tobago. We have also provided support on the platform regionally as well. So all to say, and all the years we have had the platform running, there's not been one instance of downtime for intrusion or etc. Notwithstanding, we do live in a time where we see internationally companies, even the best from the FBI, the US, I mean, there are many international organizations where you assume of the highest layers of security have suffered intrusion or impacts. So we don't stand still. Every day, TSCT as a corporate citizen has taken bold steps to secure not only our internal cloud, but public cloud, and we continue to do so. And in months to come, you'll hear more about it. But rest assured, the THA's data is housed within a separate environment, which is controlled by the THA with right to audit that data, and the firewalls and the controls inherent are built to offer that layer of protection, which ultimately provides the assurance that your data is safe and secure.
And just to be clear, that was one of the inquiries we made before signing on to this platform, ensuring that we have several layers of safety and that we have fallback plans should anything arise, so that it doesn't become disruptive to the governance, because we can't stop governing for a moment, you know, and so it's to ensure that it continues even in the event that something happens. And we do in fact have systems in place that should something arise, which is unlikely, that we have plan B, C, D, all the way down to Z, to ensure that the system can keep going safely and confident and with confidentiality.
Mr. McFarlane, you were spot on with that question. Next question, please. So we're gonna take about 2 or 3 more questions because we crunch for time.
Good morning. I'm not hearing what time frame this platform would be rolled out. The question was asked before, would it be in the next 2 months, 3 months, 2 years, 3 years, or the next administration? And we're just trying to find out.
Thank you for your question. As a matter of fact, the launch date was supposed to be May 1st. However, we were thinking of effective ways to sensitize all the vendors in Tobago. And we have other stakeholders in the Tobago House of Assembly that have not yet been trained. But this one was very critical for us. So we took a lot of time and energies to plan this because we wanted to ensure that the most important stakeholder was sensitized effectively. So the launch date would be in June, but it is fluid. We are not going to cross June 30th. It is fluid because we are looking at effective ways of training. I'll just put it into context. Our IT professionals in the Tobago House of Assembly and the special purpose companies are the administrators of the eTender. For instance, we cannot call on TSTT every time we want to change authorization and access and the layers and tiers of authority for officers. So we have to do a major training, and that is TSTT, with our IT professionals across the assembly and the special purpose companies. So in June, we will be going live.
So no later than June 30th. So in time for my birthday on July 1st, we will have this platform ready for public operation.
Chief, it seems like you're tendering for gifts on July 1st. All right. So, any other questions?
Hi, good morning. I'd just like to know, is it that we can only tender for one job or we can tender for multiple?
Multiple. As many as you qualify for, as many as you feel you qualify for. Because remember, the evaluation process for tendering eventually screens and selects the most suitable. So you can tender for many projects and you can do so simultaneously.
Chief, just allow me to add to that. When you sign with the OPR, remember you have to indicate your line of business. So I don't expect that you're not registered with the OPR for construction, but you would like to apply on eTender for construction.
As you are qualified for.
Yes. So whatever you have qualified for, according to the OPR especially, because I don't expect that you would want to do multiple and you're under the 75,000. So it therefore means the line of business that you are registered to provide, that is the business that we expect you to tender for on eTender. However, to answer your question, multiple business once you are registered so to do.
All right, last two questions. We have the next question. Next question, anybody? Going once? Going twice? Sold? Now remember, if you have questions, you can...
I think someone hand was up. Sorry.
Hands up?
Yeah.
Ah, there we go.
What's the cost of this software to Tobago House of Assembly and to maintain it?
I will have to ask permission from my chief and...
Go right ahead, go right ahead.
Okay, this has cost the THA for 1 year $9.4 million. But just remember, it's not only for the THA, it's for about 24 autonomous bodies. And when I say autonomous, I mean divisions, I consider them to be autonomous because they all have different mandates. And then we have the companies and the TRHA. So that cost covers all THA and its related entities. $9.4 million.
The whole THA, everybody. So whether you're doing business with a division or whether you are doing business with a company like Stolly Park Enterprise Limited, or whether you're doing business with TRHA, or any agent associated with the THA, all will be utilizing this platform and the services. And that cost takes into consideration all the training, the website construction, the hosting of the thing, storage of data, in the cloud, protection of those these data sets, and everything else in between.
Yeah, that answers the question.
That question sounds like it comes from a journalist.
All right, next question, please. Anybody? That's it? All right, so folks, so as I said, you can, if the questions come afterwards, we do have the email of the eTender support at tha.gov.tt, so you can submit questions after today's forum. At this point in time, our friends at TSTT have brought the kiosk for us for you to interact, to actually see what it is like to go through the eTender process. So you'd have that opportunity right now, and they will be stationed on either side of this stage. All right. So I can safely assume that we have a better grasp of this eTender procurement portal. I could say so. Yeah. Of course, you know it wouldn't just roll out just like that. You would have opportunity. There'll be more sensitization sessions. This was just the first, and as Mrs. Roberts said, and as our chief administrator said, there will be more training sessions and so on to sensitize and make sure that you are abreast with the technology and the new way in which we intend to do business, because the aim is to become more professional as we go into newer dimensions. Okay, folks? So again, I want to thank you all for being here. At this point in time, we will have you all able to engage and interface with the kiosk. I want to, of course, thank our Chief Secretary, our Honorable Chief Secretary, for coming and providing remarks and enlightening us on this initiative by the Tobago House of Assembly. Our Chief Administrator, I really love to hear this lady talk, because they're both women of business. I love to work with professionals, so thank you so very much. And of course, our Chief Management Accountant, Ms. Petalan Roberts. I think it's Mr. McFarlane who pointed out that anytime she's a part of something is something serious and something progressive. All right? And of course, my good friend here smiling all the while, Mr. Keno Cox, the Acting General Manager of Emerging Services and Innovation from TSTT. I want to also thank Mr. Kirsch Ramsey and Ms. Taisha Alexander for carrying us through on the national anthem. Mr. Carl Murray, Administrator Carl Murray, for taking us through on the invocation. All our media friends, all the staff at Shore Park, all the vendors for taking the time, all our stakeholders, those looking online, I want to thank you so very much. Those from the Department of Information, our camera crew, our audio men, everybody, I want to thank you all so very much. It's just the first, so we'll be holding hand in hand and embracing walking into the future, all right? So at this point in time, you could free up yourselves, because you could familiarize yourselves with the kiosk at the sides. Okay, folks? All right, and when you're done, please reach safely to whatever respective destinations that you all have. All right? Thank you. In the meantime, I'll just ask if you could go. So in the meantime, just for the photographers, if we could have a group photo for our panel of professionals here. And a round of applause for the THA ladies and gentlemen for at least taking the opportunity to apprise us first and not just springing it on you like that. So I really want to applaud them for that. So thank you all so very much for being here. And do have a wonderful remainder of the day.